I am making a video here, and I'm going to try to invent some licks out of the D position on a six-string instrument. This is a ukulele, and it's tuned to A standard, like a standard guitar if you capoed it on the 5th fret. But I'm playing out of the D, what I would consider the D position, the first D position. And I'm really bad at making out licks in that position because it's awkward to me. It doesn't quite mesh with the other modes as well as I'd like, in my vision of the fretboard. So I'm challenging myself to tackle that thing I've been avoiding because I can't do it. So I avoid practicing it. But I think it's important to push through those things as an artist and reach out and take that knowledge for yourself. It's there. You just have to put the work in whether you like it or not. So I'm going to try to invent some things here in the style of in that key. I'm not 100% sure what it is right off the top of my head. It feels like it's probably a G. But I'm going to try to invent some stuff off the top of my head to see where I can go with it and see if I can stretch it out a little bit, because it's real easy in that position to, since you're already using I use my first and third fingers to fret D kind of, but it usually leaves these two fingers kind of wandering around, and the pinky's not a strong finger anyway, so I feel like because I have to make my middle finger do a lot of work, it's hard out of that position, but I want to try to overcome that. So let's get started. I'm talking too much. See, that was a wrong note, but push through. You hear that wrong note, just take your time, take a deep breath, and push through. And then the D bar is already right there. Now, when I'm saying D, I mean D shapes. But it's right there under my fingers, and I'm landing on that out of that A position. So I can just go down into the... So if I come up there again and go... And then right back at D. So part of the way you can break out of these ruts, I get musical ruts all the time where I can't break out of it. I challenge myself to learn the notes, and not just the chord shapes, because a lot of times we get caught up in the shapes and we don't think about the notes. To learn the chord notes, like if you play D here, and you can pick that out like that, but if you go up and play it in here on the 5th fret in that bar position, you can jump between them if you find the intermediary steps. And I feel like a lot of practice is finding those steps and tying it all together, gluing it all together. For example, like... and come back up in that bar position. All I did was trace out the basic shapes of D here, but then D also can extend down in kind of a C shape, like that. And again, I'm saying D as the reference to the shape, not the actual chord. It's actually, I think, in G. But that chord shape, you can extend it out, but then you're on the root of that bar chord. And then you'll notice if you play a G shape, those strings are open. So you've got... So then you can go down and hit this G shape, and then you're back in the D shape chord. So knowing your chord shapes and picking those out and recognizing the notes and the patterns, tie those together, and it can open up solo possibilities for you playing the guitar. Anyway, I felt like I just wanted to share a little knowledge about playing music and finding your way through that forest of you can hear it in your head, but you need to get it in your hands. And I feel like just tackling the subjects that you're avoiding is the best way to do that. You know, do the work. Even if you don't want to. It's easy in guitar to say, well, I won't work on F because it's terrible. I mean, it is. It's hard on the hands because it's the hardest fretted chord since it's all the way down here. But if you learn it in fragments and then piece it all together, it's usually a little easier than just like, oh, it hurts. Yeah, it hurts. That's if you practice, you're practicing to make it hurt less. So work on it. Anyway, just wanted to share some thoughts tonight. I love you guys. Peace.